I'm the author of the Karma's Children Discovery released today, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am joined by some amazing writers and cheerleaders in the writing community that I have that I'm so grateful to call my friends. Today I'm going to be joined by Holly Davis, who is the author of The Happy Balanced Writer. Holly, can you introduce yourself for everyone?
Yes. Hi, you guys. I'm Holly Davis, also known as Write Holly Davis on YouTube and Instagram and Twitter, so you can find me all there. I'm currently querying a young adult fantasy called The Celestial Code. Also going to try to submit that to Pitch Wars, but I do have a workbook out that's called The Happy Balanced Writer, and you can find like all my links and everything to that on hollydavisbooks.com. And I'm very glad to be here to help support Maverick because he's awesome.
Oh, thank you. I'm also joined by Melissa Frey, the author of The Secret of the Codex. And y'all, she actually is the one who edited Karma's Children Discovery, which is so amazing. She just like made my book 10 times better. Melissa, can you introduce yourself for everyone?
Hi, I'm Melissa Frey. My handle is Melissa Frey Author on pretty much every network out there that I'm a self-published author. I have my first book, Secret of the Codex, actually re-releasing in November, and I did a video about that on my YouTube channel, so you can go watch that. But I've got another book, The Prophecy of the Codex, is like the follow-up, and that should come out next year, hopefully. Trying to get there, but so I'm on YouTube. I've got a Patreon page, Twitter, Facebook, all the Instagram, obviously Instagram. So anyway, I guess that's me.
Awesome. And then lastly, we are joined by Renee Dugan, author of The Chaos Circus. Renee?
Hey guys, so my name is Renee. I go by on most of my social media, Renee Dugan Writing. And as Maverick said, I'm the author of The Chaos Circus, which came out this past March. And I have another book, the first book in my fantasy series, the Star Chaser Saga. The first book, Darkwind, is coming out in December. And I'm currently redrafting the fourth book and about 3/4 of the way through. So that's been a lot of fun. Other than that, I'm just all over social media. I love making friends. And Maverick's been one of the coolest people I've had the privilege to meet on this social media writing journey. So I'm very excited to be here celebrating his release.
Awesome. Well, I thank you for the three of you for joining me and helping me celebrate the release of my debut novel. I am almost beyond excited about this. For those of you watching, I've been kind of tracking my ranking on Amazon, and the last time I checked, which was like right before this live, I'm at 101 in my genre, and I'm just like so close to that top 100. So yeah, so if you haven't ordered the book, go order the book. But we're going to go ahead and dive in, and we're going to do a bit of an icebreaker and let you guys to kind of like get to know each one of us a little bit more, and for us as hosts to kind of get to know each other even more and just have fun with it. So we're going to be doing a who's most likely to. So each of us have these cards that, granted, my saturation's bad. There you go. With everyone's names on them, and then I'm going to ask like a question, like a who's most likely to question, and then every one of our hosts will point up whatever author that they think kind of embodies that who's most likely to the most. And we'll just like have fun with it. And if you guys have any like questions that you want to ask that as part of the who's most likely to that I haven't talked about yet, then like go ahead and fire them off and I'll post them up on here too. Okay, so first let me see. First up, I have who's most likely to get a movie made after their book? Obviously everyone, but like right. I'm thinking like in terms of like production and like things like that I feel like would probably get like a lot of people to like go to the movie too. Okay, do y'all have an answer?
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Really?
Oh, nice. Basically everyone.
Thank you.
All right, Holly won that one.
PCT is just so cinematic, and it fits that mold for like the way it could be directed and the score. Like when I was beta reading it, I saw it in my head. So
thank you.
That's awesome. I have not gotten the pleasure of reading The Celestial Code as of yet because it's not quite published yet. Waiting eagerly for it, Holly. For those of you watching, The Celestial Code is a sci-fi, right?
It's like an urban fantasy with like light sci-fi elements. Like at least the first book, it's like set in space, but it's more of a fantasy because it's set in like another dimension in space. But like more sci-fi elements kind of come into play in future books that I will hopefully be able to write. So that I have all plotted out. So just saying.
Okay. Who's most likely to write a steamy love scene?
Ooh.
Okay.
Holly, I'm gonna have trouble with like these because I haven't read your work, so I'm not 100% sure. So I'm gonna base it kind of based off your personality.
That's what I'm doing for this one. I'm like,
All right, I got one.
Okay. Do y'all have an answer?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, ready, set, go.
Ooh.
Oh. That's so funny because like I struggle with love scenes.
So do I.
I know you said that. I know you came out with that YouTube video about it, but I feel like if you did, then it would be steamy AF. Like it would be like when you did write it, it'd be like the one. You know what I mean?
Well, that's kind of the funny thing because I voted for myself because I actually have written this and I have some ideas for romance books. So
Ooh.
yeah.
See, when I read The Secret of the Codex and I had, your love scene between Kayla and Grady. Spoilers. I don't know if that's spoilers. I'm sorry.
I mean,
but it wasn't like, it was more romantic. It was not like steamy. It was like, I was just like, oh, like it warmed my heart.
Right. But you got to at some point move past the romance and get to the steamy. So
it's the next step.
Maybe book 2. I'm just saying.
Just saying. Pre-order.
Okay. Jack thought of something. Who's most likely to have the most writing work in progresses? So I'm taking that as like
I know that.
different work in progresses like at the same time.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. I'm kind of tied. Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Oh, I can't even find my thing.
Renee.
Oh my gosh. I am physically incapable of working on more than one thing at once.
That's so funny.
I was like, Star Chase. And then I was like, wait, the cats are, wait, what about those other books that she was reading?
The thing is, I'm a speed drafter, so I can like get through them and work on the next thing, but my brain is very like, I almost said one-dimensional. My brain is very one track. So it's like when I'm working on one thing, if I try to go back and forth between two, I end up kicking one of them to the curb.
I'm working on 2 myself. I have the second book of Karma's Children trilogy, and then I have like a separate one that's entirely different genre, different work. Like different world, everything. That's more exciting. Of like a thriller horror.
Ooh, yes.
Very cool.
I'm excited about that.
I think
but I said Renee because I just remember from your live, you were like, I write like all the time. I write like all this like different stories here and there, and I was like, Renee. Probably has different multiple.
Guilty of that for sure.
Let's see. Who's most likely to create seemingly trivial aspects of their world building and then that never actually makes it into the book?
Okay.
I have an answer. Okay, y'all ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
I'm so called out. Okay, I will admit I am slightly more guilty of that, but I didn't want to call myself out on it. So yeah, I tend to know like how the water systems work and the agriculture, and then it's never going to be in the story, but it helps me to know. So
Yeah.
Exactly. I was like, I wonder what, maybe all of those facts do go into your story. So I didn't know, but I'm like, well, I'm still going to put you.
It depends on what level of going into the story, I guess.
Right.
That makes sense.
So just quick pause. For those of you in the comments, you're welcome to like join in and guessing like who you think is most likely to.
And
yeah,
Heather
just
said
join in, have fun with us.
Heather said we should take your character quiz, which we did, and in our little message thread. So I got Kevin.
Awesome.
Yeah. Did any of you guys take it?
Yeah, I took it and I got Krista, which totally made sense for me because I was identifying her when I was reading the book. So
I'm trying to remember. I'm really bad with remembering names. But it was the one that Maverick described as the introverted guy.
Kevin?
Okay.
I think it might have been, yeah.
Kevin? Okay, yeah. When I took it myself, I think I got Krista. But like when I was writing it, like all of the characters have like aspects of myself.
Mm-hmm.
But just based on like the questions that I asked, I think I got Krista. Heather says she got Krista. Let's see, where is hi Brittany. Okay. Let's do, you want to do a couple more? Who's most likely to write a graphic death scene? Okay, ready? Yep. 3, 2, 1.
Yours.
I'm just gonna be the odd duck out on all of these. Now I'm very scared for Krista and everybody else.
Either you're like horror, thriller, like dark fantasy. Yeah. Oh, Heather guessed right too.
I'm gonna take note of any time Melissa calls Maverick out on something and be like, she knows things.
I've only read the first one, so that
is true.
Most of what I know.
She's she's missing out on some stuff. But she did see a lot too. Okay, let's do one more. This one I came up with. So oh, actually, never mind. Let's not do that one. I was gonna say who's most likely to write a contemporary romance because none of us write in that genre. But then
now we know.
Melissa already said
that
she has ideas for that. So I was
sorry.
Okay, who's most likely to make a pop culture reference in their book? Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Kind of ran the board. Melissa, I feel like you had the advantage there.
Yeah, kind of.
You're like, yeah, there were some pop culture references.
Yeah, I didn't know what time period Karma's Children set in, so
it's urban fantasy, so it's modern time.
It's like modern, yeah. And like mine, like TCC is set in like the near future, so I try not to say, and I talk about like Rice Krispies and stuff like that, but nothing where it's like Britney Spears, like it's on Earth, but
yeah, and I try to avoid pop culture references in all of my books. I think it's because I'm so worried about licensing. So
I just don't want to date it. I don't want to date my book.
That's true.
Yeah. But I have a lot of slang and stuff which dates it, but I don't care because I like it. So.
And slang can come back and it can stick around long.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, true.
Right.
Okay, so let me go ahead and move on to our first giveaway. So for those of you watching, I'm going to ask a... Oh.
Jackson. Oh no, I just saw Jackson's comment. You should reference Britney Spears at every opportunity. Also Zuko, yeah, Zuko's like, yeah, he'll go on the back of my chair eventually.
Oh,
Fine. We love Zuko.
Fire Lord.
Zuko, yeah.
Okay, so...
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to be doing our first giveaway. So for those of you watching, I'm going to ask a trivia question from my Karma's Children writing process book, whatever. I'll try to keep it relatively easy, but and keep it from things that, like, you know, I've said like on social media or things like that. So for the first giveaway, I'm going to be giving away some Karma's Children merch. So I have this necklace that's inspired by what one of the characters in Karma's Children wears. This is called the Stone of Karma, and you'll see it in the book. It is not the it's not the source of the powers that the characters have, but they are able to kind of call on their ancestors for wisdom through this.
Ooh.
So cool.
And then I also have this book sleeve. It has Karma's Children printed on it right there, but it fits any 8.5 by 5.5 book, which is what Karma's Children was. You can put your tablet in it. You can put anything you want in it. And fun thing about this is when I was doing my, like, trying to create merch for Karma's Children, I first created this book sleeve, but then I was like, that was way too hard to sew together. So I opted for a simpler version. So there's only one of these in existence.
Oh.
I wish we could win these. Oh man.
You could win them. Just like maybe make it fair, and instead of like shouting it out, say it in the comments, like with everyone else. Okay, well now I have to be careful because Melissa's gonna know them all.
No. I'll wait.
Okay. What inspired my idea for the Karma's Children story? Anyone? It's not like popping up on my... Nikki, a dream. Yes.
Oh!
Jack got it.
Oh.
A dream. Yes, you're correct.
Nice.
So, did anyone else get it? I'm curious. Yep, Jax, you got it. A dream. Oh, Brittany was very, very close after that too.
Nice.
But Jax got it in the nick of things there. So, Jax, they're going to be winning the Karma's necklace and the Karma's Children book sleeve. So just I should probably put my email address here for anyone who wins. So you can email me at authormaverickm@gmail.com, and then just tell me one, and I will get your address and send it to you. Okay, so let's move on to another game. So this next one, I want all of you guys in the comments to try to participate in, because this is going to be where you guys guess which one of our books this side character is from. So I have a mug here with a bunch of different names from side characters from each of our books. So these are characters, not the main characters that are the main ones in the storyline, but just like the ones off to the side that are maybe like their friends or their family or whatever. So I am going to be picking some names out of here, and you guys in the comments can guess which one you think it's from, whether it's from Holly's book, The Celestial Code, Renee's book, The Chaos Circus, or Dark Wind, whatever, and then Melissa Frey's book, The Secret of the Codex, or mine. if you know that as well. So let's go ahead and dive into this. So first up, I have no idea if I'm pronouncing this right. Caseta. Caseta. Let me see if I can hold it up. It's very small. Okay, those of you in the comments, try to guess. There's no prizes for this. It's just for fun, but Cascada.
Cascada.
Renee. Jack says Renee. Heather says Renee. Whose was this? Raise your hand, Renee. I wasn't 100% sure. I know I printed these out myself, but then I was like, was it Renee's?
Yep, that's one of my girls.
Jax is quoting Cascada now. every time we touch.
Back in my youth.
That's where I could cry.
Let's see. Next up, we have Abraxos. Right here.
I love that name.
If any of you have read this book, you probably know. Well, in general, if you've read the book, you probably will know. Abraxos Holly.
Was not prepared for
Melissa.
pop quiz.
Yep. Holly got it. It's me.
I have no idea. I love that.
So, when y'all messaged me or whatever with your side characters, did you read each other's side characters?
No.
Yes, but
Okay.
I don't know that I remember.
Yeah.
Okay, so then it could be fair game for all of y'all too. You can hold up your cards if you want.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Oh shoot! I accidentally put it back in the cup. Okay. Let me pick another one. Sherry. There you go. Nikki says Mav. Melissa. Definitely you, Maverick. Yes, so it is definitely me. So Nikki knows me in real life, and she knows that I based the character of Sherry off of someone who we both know in real life. And it's the fun fact about Sherry is she's the only character in my entire series that is 100% based off of a real person in my life.
Very cool.
It's just very inspiring. Let's see. Good for fun. I keep pulling out mine.
I love little tidbits like that.
Okay. I honestly don't remember which one this was from. Rem. Rem. I don't remember. Holly.
That was a good first guess, Nikki.
I know, I'm just
Well, okay, so that either tells me that it's Renee's or it's Holly's. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
Raise your hand. It was you. Holly.
He's from the Celestial Code.
Okay.
I just got really excited. Rem is my favorite character from the Celestial Code. I got an involuntary reaction.
Oh, thank you.
So Renee, I have obviously read the Chaos Circus, so I am mostly familiar with the side characters. I would feel from there, but I may not remember because I'm not great with names. But I obviously haven't read Darkwind, and I believe you gave me some side characters from Darkwind too.
I did indeed. Yeah, I have a lot more side characters because it's ensemble. So I actually only have really 2 main side characters from the Chaos Circus. So I don't even remember if I sent them to you.
Yeah, I have a lot of characters. I probably have an unhealthy amount of characters. But...
No.
Well, you know those deaths we were talking about earlier.
Right.
I'll clean that right up.
Right. If you
There
don't
you
have big characters, how can you kill them off, right? You got to have a lot of them.
There you go.
Increase
That's a
the
good
body
way of
count.
thinking about it.
Smart.
Okay, one more here. Norma. Again, I don't remember. Oh, it's not focusing.
Still not focusing.
I'm like trying to do the beauty guru hands, but it's not working. Melissa. People are saying Melissa. Renee. Nikki. Melissa. Any other guesses? I don't remember.
Well, then it's probably not yours.
I know it's not mine. But
Oh my
I don't
God.
remember.
Heather, Renee, I am ashamed. The seamstress.
Brittany says Holly. Was it you, Holly?
Yes. Yes.
Oh my gosh, who was Norma? I have no memory of this.
She is a side character, so she's not in it very much.
Well, I just need to go back and reread the Celestial Code, apparently.
Nice,
I'm forgetting
Brittany.
things.
Nice, Brittany. Heather, oops. I trusted you. No, just kidding. No,
I'm
Norma,
guessing-
she kind of gives off like fairy godmother vibes when she, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I remember now. Sorry.
Okay, let me try one more. This is funny.
We need to play until we get one of Melissa's characters.
It'll be this next one. I feel
okay. Okay. Astrid.
it. Ooh.
This is a really unique name.
Mhm.
Just, saying it could be mine. But
Yes, really.
I think it's a unique name.
Yeah, I'll second you,
Does
Holly.
Nav.
Probably Renee.
Oh, I gave away that it wasn't me. Oops, whatever.
Well, it
Pretty
could have
insane,
been.
Nav.
Also, I'm getting like
Who
How
knows?
to Train Your Dragon vibes. I would totally name my child Astrid. Yes, yes.
Astrid was the best
Oh, no.
character in those movies.
Nikki says, I feel like you pick unique names.
Oh,
for
Nav.
me. Yeah. Well, okay. It's not me, but who is it?
It's me.
Renee.
Great name.
Thank you. She's an archer. I'm quite fond of her.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
I have the Arc of Darkwind, and I just finished the Stolen Kingdom. So then I have to read Darkwind, and then Karma's Children.
Yeah.
Your TBR's looking good.
I know. I got a great TBR.
I'm in good company. Okay, let's just do one more since we haven't gotten Melissa yet, and let's hope this one is Melissa. Again, I don't know. Jackie.
I think we should all just guess Melissa.
I know Melissa. I'm guessing Melissa.
Still not going shopping. Melissa, everyone's guessing Melissa.
We're rooting for you, Melissa.
Yes, it is my character.
I think that Melissa won.
I can do this
What
all
are the
night.
chances? Like we've done this
I know,
10
there's a
names,
lot.
and then the only one was yours.
I promise I have side characters.
So you only played one. You're like everyone's the main character.
They're there.
I
They're
have
just
like 4.
sneaky.
So.
I mean, I definitely got those vibes from when I was doing The Secret of the Codex. Like even the side characters were like very main in a way. I don't know. They were very everyone. Okay, so if anyone watching, if you haven't read The Secret of the Codex, I ranked The Secret of the Codex my #1 read of 2018. I have that video on my channel, and that's just one of the main reasons of that was because the characters were so incredibly strong. Like if every character felt like a real person to me, which was like super unique. Like that almost never happens in a book.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
And so so I felt like even the side characters were like main characters because like they just were so developed too. It was great. Anyway.
Well, they were characters to me too, so.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to our second giveaway. And this is going to be for a copy of The Chaos Circus by Renee Dugan. It is going to be an ebook, just FYI, because I needed to make it international friendly for any international watchers. But we're going to be giving away an ebook of The Chaos Circus by Renee Dugan. And so for this, I kind of want to ask, actually, my original plan was to do trivia of Karma's Children, but now I kind of want to do trivia of your book.
Oh, thanks. Put me on the spot. I did not come prepared for this.
It's okay. I'll do trivia of my book. It's fine. Okay, this one's pretty easy. Melissa will know this right away, but anyone else? How many spirits are on the Council of Karma? I know that was very obscure, but anyone can guess the random number.
It's been like a few months, so I'm trying to think.
I don't know why I'm guessing. I don't need to win an ebook. I just like guessing things. Yeah, somebody else should take
I
that.
wrote my own book.
Vicky 7, Brittany 6. No right answers yet. Keep guessing. Heather 5. Nope. 7. Nope. Keep going.
Just keep counting.
12. Lacey got it.
Oh.
Okay, Lacey.
I'm on painkillers. It's not fair.
Oh.
That's okay, Brittany. You'll get another chance for something else. Yeah, so let's see. Lacey got it. Nikki says why 12. So honestly, I don't know why. I could have done 10, but I think my original plan was that I wanted to kind of create biblical references with things that are incorporated into my book. And so actually all of the spirits' names, they're all kind of obscure and weird. But all of the spirits' names are, according to Google, like names of angels, like of like good angels and like evil angels. And so they're like named kind of after that and like have similar like characteristics and like things like that.
What's your favorite of the 12 names?
Yeah, and I just found 12 names, and I think maybe my thought process was like, I don't know, the 12 apostles. Like maybe I don't even remember, but
See, I have a theory.
Go for it.
Divide it in half, 6, and 6 is a very distinctive number. So I feel like that might have been kind of in your subconscious telling you that. Maybe.
Very true.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. I feel like it's Kevin because of Kingdom Hearts.
That's the number of Starbucks you visited already.
Only 7?
Right, only.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know the Starbucks number. I think the Starbucks number was like 110 though. That would have been way too many characters. So yeah. Nikki says 7 lights, 13 darknesses. I guess that's a Kingdom Hearts reference. I don't know Kingdom Hearts.
Yes, the 13 organization members and the 7 princesses of light, right? Or princesses of heart. Yeah.
I don't know what it is either. So
I know. I've heard of Kingdom Hearts. I just don't play video games, so I just don't. It's not. Yeah.
That's fair.
Anyway.
Darkness.
Anyway, Lacey won the ebook of The Chaos Circus. So Lacey, you can email me I'll just type it in here again because it's probably going to be like all the way up in the comments. So you can email me at authormaverickm@gmail.com and just tell me that you won this ebook, and then I'll get your info to send it over to you. Okay, so let's go ahead, and this is going to be another game that is incorporating all of us hosts, but then also you guys can like ask us questions that you guys think of on the spot. So this is going to be, what would our MCs do? And MCs is like main character. So I'm going to like present a prompt, and we're each going to go around and just say what our main characters would do in that certain situation. Sound good? And then again, if you guys have any ideas of like comments that you would like to ask of what would our MCs do in a certain situation, just feel free to fire off in the comments. Okay, so first up I have, what would our MCs order at Starbucks? I felt like I had to include this because I'm a huge Starbucks lover. And I did all my writing at Starbucks. Like, yeah. But anyway, what would our main characters do? So I'll start, I guess. Since I have 3 main characters, Krista, Klaus, and Kevin, I'll just quickly go through all of them. So Krista would definitely get black coffee. No cream, no sugar.
Yeah.
She likes it very strong. And she's definitely a coffee addict. Klaus would probably get just like like an iced latte, like something like kind of, you know, not super strong, but not super sweet, just kind of like in the middle. And then Kevin would get absolutely nothing. He would get water. Because he's not a coffee fan, he's not a tea fan. He would just get water.
I should have tested out as Klaus then, not Kevin.
Brittany says Kevin would get a frappuccino. Ooh, that maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
Could talk him into it if it was enough like a milkshake, maybe.
Maybe.
Right,
yeah.
right. That makes
I think on the quiz I put like smoothies as him.
that makes sense.
So like if it was smoothie-esque, like he could do it. Okay. Next I have where'd they go? What our MCs do if their friend suggested to... Oh wait, I forgot to go around for you guys.
We're just gonna let you go. It's fine.
Going with it, like
It's your thing, so that's totally fine.
Okay, Holly, what would your MC do with the Starbucks drink?
What Brittany said, the nitro cold brew. Because Lucci, like, she eats like fairly healthy, but so she would get like, you know, some milk in it, a little bit of sugar, but nothing crazy. Yeah, but she can't just go straight black. No, just a little something.
Okay. Renee, what do you think?
So for Sistine, who's the main character in Darkwind, she would definitely get whatever kind of tea they had. I am not a tea drinker, so I don't really know what kind of tea Starbucks has, but she would just kind of point and say, I'll take that, as long as it tastes comfy. And then Tessa, the main character from the Chaos Circus, she would get the sweetest thing on the menu and then ask for a couple of extra pumps. Girl has a problem.
The cotton candy frappuccino with an espresso shot or something.
Yes, exactly. The sweeter, the better.
Melissa, what about you?
Okay, so I have 4 main characters. I will go quick. Thankfully, I answered last, so I had time to think about it. So Kayla would probably get something like a cappuccino or a latte, just like really pretty clean, like basic kind of stuff. Grady, I'm thinking, would be probably black coffee, or maybe like the nitro cold brew, that kind of thing. But pretty plain and simple because he's similar to my husband, and that's what my husband would do. And then, so Mandy would probably get something pretty sweet. And Justin, I think, would get either like a shot of espresso or like an energy drink. Like he would just buy an energy drink at Starbucks. That's just his thing.
Heathen.
Right?
I can see that.
Him and Kevin can go to Starbucks together and not get coffee.
Right.
Yes, there you go.
It's just water.
Okay, now we'll move on to another question. What would our MCs do if their friend suggested to jump off a cliff? So, when I thought about this, I was like, I know exactly what they would do. So
Wait, can you repeat the question? Wait, what?
Okay, I'll repeat the question. What would our MCs do if their friend suggested they jump off a cliff?
Okay.
So like bad peer pressure moment, basically.
Yeah.
So Krista would probably try to logically talk them out of it and convince them not to do it because she's quite smart and good with people. Klaus would probably be the one suggesting they jump off the cliff. He's like very headstrong and just wants to jump in on things. And then Kevin wouldn't even be with a friend who would actually do that.
Yeah, it looks like Brittany said Kevin would run the other way. So that sounds good.
Yeah.
What about you, Holly?
Yeah, I like Lucci she's good at giving advice to her friends. So she would also be kind of the voice of reason, being able to talk them away from the cliff. So
that sounds like her.
Okay, Renee?
So it's kind of a funny question because Tessa has sort of, I don't want to say differing personalities. If you asked her at one point in her life to jump off a cliff, she would be like, sure, I'll do it 100%. And then at a different point in her life, she would pull a Kevin and run the other way. Sistine, I think, would be kind of more like Lucci, where she would try to talk the friend off the cliff, except for, and I don't want to say who because it would be spoilers, but there is one friend who could probably talk her into cliff jumping.
Ooh. That's great.
Yeah.
Melissa?
So Kayla would just look at them like they were crazy and be like, okay, I don't have time for you, and leave. Grady would probably be similar because he's just like, no, we got more important things to do. I don't have time for that. Mandy would probably, I don't know. And Mandy was actually the only person I based on a real person, and I don't know what she would do in that case. But probably just be like, come on, that's not a good idea. Let's try to talk him out of it. And then Justin would absolutely do it. Yeah. Totally would. No parachute or anything.
It's possible he suggested it.
That's probably true. Although he would know that the rest of them wouldn't go along with it. So he'd probably go to somebody else and try to suggest it.
So Nikki suggested how would our MCs interact with I guess other characters? So I kind of want to do a spin on this just because I thought about it when you were answering about Justin. I feel like Justin and Klaus would be really good friends.
Yeah, they would. They totally
from
would.
what we know of each other, of our main characters so far, who else do you think of one main character from another main character would get along real well? Mm-mm.
See, I feel like Justin would be like Klaus's mentor, but in a bad way. This is trouble.
Mentorship and how to make bad decisions.
Right? Exactly. This is what you can get away with.
Yeah, he's a little older, a little wiser. He's a grad student.
Right.
I feel like also maybe Tessa in the later part of life, not in her early stages, in the later stage, would be friends with Kevin because they're both very artistic and creative and things like that.
Very much so.
Although I feel like Kevin could have balanced Tessa out at the beginning. And,
that's true. He definitely seems to have that kind of personality to be like, let's take a step back here and not do anything crazy. Which it sounds like that's why he and Klaus are very good for each other.
Do y'all have any other ideas?
I feel like Kayla and Krista would just go nuts, like making spreadsheets and stuff. Like,
I would feel that too. Both like
right, like being super detailed
weird.
and like nerding out on like stupid stuff that people be like, what?
Match made in heaven.
Right?
Holly, I'm going to say I think that Sistine and Lucci would probably get along very well.
Awesome. Yeah.
You have to let me know if you agree once you read the book, but
it seems like they would, based on what I know so far about her. So I'll have to read and see. They could be besties. Yeah.
our star-obsessed daughters.
Yes. They're both star chasers.
Okay, so let's do another one. What would our MCs do if their nemesis showed up at their birthday party? So Krista would be very political. She'd like try to be very gracious with them and like find a common ground. Klaus would, I don't know, maybe beat him up. And then
For sure.
and then I think Kevin would again just like run away.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see a pattern with this boy.
He would avoid confrontation. He'd be like, oh, well, let's just go over here. Like,
Just gotta take my cake to the corner.
right. What about you, Holly?
So Lucci has like 2 nemesis in her book, like real life, and then her fantastical antagonist. So like her like kind of real life closer nemesis, like she is her stepdad, so she has to kind of like just like ignore him and pretend that like he's not in the room and just be like, you're not really here, and just let him do his own thing. And then her other nemesis, she would like take him out in the back and then try to beat the crap out of him. So like, and then come back in like, where's the cake? Yeah.
No birthday's complete without it.
It's like so nonchalant about what just went down. Be like, okay,
Right.
moving on. What about you, Renee?
So I'm gonna skate by this one with Tessa because she's kind of her own nemesis, so she comes to all of her own birthday parties. I think Sistine would probably also pick a fight, even knowing she probably wouldn't win it, just because her moral code wouldn't let her back down. So it would not be a fun birthday party for her.
What about you, Melissa?
Well, so my 4 main characters, kind of a spoiler, but they get superpowers. So and they do have a nemesis. So if he were to show up, they would go all Codex crazy on them and kick him out, but in a very brilliant fashion with lots of, firepower and stuff. But
Now that is a party I would love to go to.
right? That would be so fun.
Okay, let's do another one. And again, if you guys have any ideas, feel free to tell us. We went with the nemesis. Now let's go with their crush. What would our MCs do if their crush bumped into them? So for Krista, even though she's like so like, strong and like studious and smart, she would stumble over her words and not really know what to say.
For sure.
Also great. She saw that scene. Klaus would be like leaning on a wall and be like, "Hey girl, what's up?"
Hey baby.
He would just take full advantage of it. Like and then Kevin would probably just freeze. Like,
Yeah.
he would, like,
Absolutely. And probably
doesn't
run
necessarily
away.
stumble, but just cannot know what to say.
Precious child.
Heather's is so smooth. Exactly. Klaus tries to be.
He tries. Yeah.
He thinks he is.
Right?
Yes. Holly, what about you?
Lucci. Well, so her crush is like her ex-boyfriend who she's not allowed to date, but she still like gets together with him and stuff. Like when they're at school or like at midnight. So like she would be like fine with it. She'd be like, oh yeah, hey, we're finally together. But yeah, it's a pretty smooth transition because like her crush is very sweet and like gets her. So like they would just kind of, there wouldn't be any something. They'd just be like, I like you. Yeah, I like you. Okay.
They're so precious.
What about you, Renee?
So for Tessa, she would 100% do the lock up and start stammering thing. At least like in the way that she is for the majority of the story. At one point in her life, she probably would have copied Klaus's Walling and like, hey boy. But not so much through the majority of the story. And as for Sistine, I'm gonna skate by on that one because that is actually a scene in the book.
Oh, okay.
I love it.
To read it.
Yeah, no spoilers here. What about you, Mom?
So Kayla is kind of emotionally distant a little bit. So I think she would be the last to know. Like, I think Mandy would probably tell her that someone was interested in her. She'd be like, oh, really? Okay. And then she would like develop a crush on it from that. But like, yeah, I don't have experience with that at all. Just kidding. It was totally my childhood. But yeah, so I don't know. I feel like it's hard for me to tell because like all of my characters are together for the most part. So it's, I mean, they're kind of normal with each other at this point. I guess I need to like go back and think like, how did they get together? You know. So,
Backfilling, I love it.
Get together in the book, but you know.
Nick, I like Nikki's comment here. So she said that the quiz gave her Klaus, but she says based on what she's been hearing, she feels like she's Klaus on the inside, but Kevin on the outside.
Oh.
I like that. Let's see. So you also thought of a cool question. How would your MC react if they suddenly traded bodies with one of their other MCs? And how would they deal with their being like in their world and having their responsibilities and stuff? So basically like a Freaky Friday moment with another. That was really interesting. Let's see. I don't know how to do this with three characters. If let's just like move it all like in a circle. So like if Krista woke up in Kevin's body, obviously she'd be very incredibly confused and would immediately start researching what's happening because she would want to know what exactly is going on and how she could fix it. If let's see, how would I do this again? If Klaus woke up in Krista's body, I don't think he'd be able to deal. She has like, she's the oldest sibling. Like, their mom is like gone for most of the story because of her job, and their dad is dead. So like, she's very much like the maternal figure taking care of everyone. And without that figure, I feel like the family would kind of fall apart, and Klaus wouldn't be able to handle that.
I feel like
And
they would
plus,
just never
like-
eat. Yeah.
They
Like
probably
Klaus
never
would
ate
just be like pizza every night.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like Krista has like all these responsibilities at school. Like she's the editor-in-chief at Yearbook. She's like all this stuff, like crazy stuff, and Klaus just like shut down. He wouldn't be able to handle it.
There's not going to be a yearbook this year, guys. Sorry.
And then what am I missing? Oh, if Kevin woke up in Klaus's body, again, I feel like he'd be very confused, and I think he would try to just like, I don't know, actually. Melissa, can you answer?
I don't know. I
don't
think
know.
he would like try to make the best of it. Like I think he would kind of enjoy like the attention and a little bit, but then he'd get really exhausted and go into his introvert shell.
Yes, very true. I think I agree with that because like he would like take advantage of it or whatever, and then like all of the attention would just be like,
Right.
okay, this is too
Get
much.
to
Like,
him.
let me take a break.
He would be looking for anxiety meds and hide. That's what Brittany said. That's totally.
We're learning so much about Kevin.
Right?
That's great.
He's sweet, y'all. He's sweet. He's just
He is very sweet.
he's fun.
No.
Holly, what would be you?
Yeah,
You have
so I was thinking of trading. So Lucci would trade places with her best friend Kendra, and because Kendra, she's gay, and so Lucci would be like, "No, what is this? Like, I like guys. Like, what? Like, she wouldn't know. Like, she'd be like, why does this girl look hot? I don't know what to do." So she'd be struggling a little bit. And then she's not super athletic, but Kendra is on the lacrosse team, so she would just be like just like messing everything up during the game. She'd be like, "I can't play, like take me out." So she would be it'd be a little rough for her. And then Kendra being in Lucci's place, there wouldn't be like a story because she would be like very skeptical. She'd be like, "This is all just like hocus pocus, like, you know, like voodoo cray." That's what she calls it. Like, this is just voodoo cray. And she would just be like, no, I'm not doing it. And then the story would end. So.
Accurate though.
Oh my gosh, I want to read your book. But I want to read your book. Renee.
So
Renee,
I'm gonna think. So I'm gonna go swapping Sistine and Thorn because they're kind of like on opposite sides of everything. So if Thorn swapped bodies with Sistine, he would probably be like, "Wow, you're being a princess is a lot more difficult than I thought it would be, and I don't want your job." Sistine would probably, after she got over being, 6'4", would try and stop bumping into things, would finally probably get to a place where she really liked the freedom of how Thorn lives his life, and she'd probably be like, "No, I'm not switching back. I'm staying here. You go be the princess. This is a lot more fun."
That's cool. Melissa, what about you?
Okay, so I don't know. I guess I would have like the couples trade, so like Kayla and Grady would swap, and Mandy and Justin would swap, and I don't know. I'm thinking of like there was a Charmed episode. If you guys ever watched the show Charmed, there was a Charmed episode where they did that, and it was hilarious because she was pregnant, and so like Brian Cross's character was pregnant. It was hilarious. Anyway, so it like you get a lot of like you would get to get in the other person's head and like why they act the way they do and all that. So I think it would just, well, of course they already are in each other's heads, but anyway, because they can hear thoughts. But anyway, I think it would just be I think they would just be weirded out and then deal and try to fix it. There's probably Justin would try to fix it. He'd be the biggest proponent. Like, we got to fix this. Let's find something. Let's do whatever we got to do to fix this.
We ain't staying this way.
Right.
Okay, let's do just one more, and then we'll move on to another giveaway. So I have one more here. What would our MCs do if their main jam, like their like musical jam, started playing on the radio?
These are
So
hard.
there is a semi-referenced scene in Karma's Children that which is why I thought about this. So Krista, if her main jam is playing, she'd be like totally jamming out and singing along in the car, like just having a grand old time. Klaus would probably be a little like kind of just like do it to himself, and then maybe do some like like head nods to it, but like that's about it.
Subtle
Be a
approach.
little bit more chill about it. And then I think Kevin would just kind of like imagine his like dreams while it's happening. Like you just
He's in the backseat making a music video in his head.
yeah, like he's just like would just create something in his mind from listening to it.
So precious.
This pump. Party on the inside.
Yes, exactly.
It's a rave 24/7 up there.
Right? You would never know because he's so chill.
Yeah, he's so shy, so chill. You never know. Holly, what about you?
So Lucci, since it's set in like the near future, like 90s pop is considered like old school kind of. So like she loves to listen to like old school pop with Rem. So like they would be just jamming out to that. They would the head bopping, all of that. But then with Kendra, Lucci and Kendra would be like singing Disney songs at the top of their lungs in the car with the windows down. Yeah, that would be Kendra's idea, but like they would know all the words. So
Girls after my own heart.
Renee, what about you?
Okay, so for Tessa, because she is so against drawing attention to herself, I think she would be very similar to Kevin, where she would just kind of sit there and not show much emotion, but in her head she would be screaming out every word of the song. Maybe a head bop or two when no one was watching. Sistine not only would start dancing like a crazy person, but anybody in her vicinity would also be roped into dancing to the song. So she would just turn it into a dance party.
Yes.
Nice.
Okay, Melissa?
Okay, so Kayla would probably be pretty chill unless she was comfortable with the people she was around, and then she totally would rock out. Yeah, she totally would. Probably Grady would act ridiculous. Just make a fool of himself, and it would be hilarious. Justin would totally, didn't matter who it is or anything. He's the group's extrovert, so he would definitely be crazy. Mandy would just get into it. She'd probably dance too, but.
Love it.
Yes. Well, so on the topic of music, my next question is going to be related to music, but we're going to be moving on to our third giveaway, which is for an ebook copy of The Secret of the Codex by Melissa Frey. Again, like if you weren't here earlier, this was ranked on my #1 read of 2018. Like, she's so good. Everyone should read it. Amazing. But anyway, my next question is music related. So it is fitting to the last question that I asked. And that is, there is one genre of music that is, and Holly and Renee, you can incorporate, write in this too. Melissa knows already. But there's one genre of music that is very predominant in referencing in the book. And what is that genre of music? I worded that really weirdly. I'm sorry.
we got it.
Renee says 80s rock. No. Heather says country. No. Rock.
See, that's why we write, because then we have time to like think of the right words, edit it a bunch of times, and then
Nikki is actually pretty spot on.
Emo.
So I reference Evanescence. I reference Paramore.
Yes.
So yeah, those are very predominant. And actually, fun fact, Krista's ringtone halfway through the book is Evanescence's "Bring Me to Life."
Oh my God, that's amazing. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And yeah, so and it's not, Melissa actually gave me this idea, and I really liked it when she was editing it. Is that it's not like very obvious that it's Evanescence. Like I don't say like the title or I don't say the artist, but like I describe her voice and like what the sound of the song was. And so those of you like in the know can be like Evanescence.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's very predominantly, and that's I just incorporated that because emo music is one of my favorite genres. But I do also love country and pop and like rock and like all those other ones that people were saying. But music.
Love the vibe. It fits so well.
Mhm.
And I also like thought that like another thing that was going through my mind was like I know pop culture references, date the book, like, and that if it's 20 years from now or whatever, people like won't really understand it. But I went with like Evanescence, like Paramore, because it's like that's like those are groups that are still known even though they were really popular like 15 years ago, and I feel like that's going to continue. So like I don't know.
Music ages so differently because you even still have people that love like Def Leppard and Van Halen and things that were popular in the 80s. So,
But again, like I feel like even people who don't necessarily listen to them know their names.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like they would
Yeah.
still like kind of get a gist of it.
Mhm.
They wouldn't be
For
like,
sure.
oh, like who is this person? Most of the time I feel like, I don't know, that's just my feelings. So Nikki, I put my email address on there for you to email me. So you won the ebook copy of The Secret of the Codex by Melissa Frey. Yay!
Yay!
Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to our. Is this our last game? This is our last game. So this is again incorporating all of you guys in the comments. So just fire off your guesses. And again, like I mean, Melissa, Holly, Renee, like you didn't read each other's like answers to this, so y'all can participate too. But this is called Guess Which One of Our Books This Plot Point is From. That's a very long-winded title of this. But basically, I have another little cup of our just like very specific but also kind of obscure plot points that are in one of our books, and you have to match up which one it goes with, I guess. And they may end up overlapping. I don't know. I tried to keep it so that it wasn't overlapping. But if they do, then you can get 2 points. Let me shake these. Okay. So first up, I have a couple gets kidnapped. Who do you think this is from?
Ooh.
A couple gets kidnapped. I can like. Nikki says Melissa. Mav. I think I remember, but I don't remember. What are you saying, Renee? Okay. Yeah, so it was Melissa. So Nikki actually got it. First go round.
I
Oh,
think in
Nikki.
like the first draft, like I had like 2 or 3 kidnappings, and so I had to cut out. It's like everybody getting kidnapped. I was like, no, we
You get to be kidnapped, and you get to be kidnapped.
Right.
The bad guys have a tactic. It's working for them. They're sticking to it. By God.
I was like,
They know their weakness.
Okay, kidnap. Yes, definitely. Taken.
Heather's is taken. Yeah, definitely kidnapping in there. Weird fascination with kidnapping, Melissa.
But it's such a good like plot device, right? So like they're in danger. Oh, how are they gonna get? It's not 5 times.
Okay, let's go to a different one. Someone sneaks away from home at night. Who do you think this one belongs to? Someone sneaks away from home at night. Okay, very specific there. Nikki says Mav. Heather says Holly. Holly. Okay, what's the answer? Raise your hand. Holly, yay.
Gotta see your guy.
I got it. Brittany's Renee.
I was like, this is good because even though my book's not out yet, like I've said a couple things and I'm like, oh, I mentioned a couple plot points that I put as those things. So you guys will be able to answer a bit.
Okay, cool. Let's see, let's get another one. A huge dinner scene. Like a huge dinner scene. Like capital H. Oh, capital H-U-G-E. Huge dinner scene.
A huge. Yeah.
Renee. Heather guesses Renee. Let's see if anyone else does. Nikki says Maverick. Because you keep emphasizing huge.
Do you understand how large this dinner is?
Huge.
I did. I had a huge one. And I took it out.
So I do have a dinner scene, but it's not huge. So raise your hand, Renee.
I actually have huge dinner scenes in both the Chaos Circus and
You do, yes. The masquerade.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, see, I wasn't even thinking of the masquerade. I was thinking of the
there's the
one where she
feast in the
jumps up
park.
and down. Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Where she's like jumping on the table. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I have a food thing. I'm not gonna lie. I like putting eating scenes in my books.
Well, that was mine. That's when I realized, like, oh, this huge like feast at the midpoint, like, it's too boring because of the food. So I was like,
not for me. I'll read it, huh?
They had just had dinner, and I'm like, okay, I need to.
Heather says, I'd say it was one of my fave scenes, but seriously, that's the whole book. So.
Yeah.
So you're like with food and dinner scenes. You're like that with Melissa's kidnapping.
Kidnapping.
You kidnap them, I'll feed them.
It was hard for me to put food in my books. Like I had to think about, wait, if they're kidnapped for like a week, they're gonna somehow need to eat. So how is that?
And they can eat while listening to Evanescence.
There you go.
Right?
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. That sounds Whitney says a great crossover.
Fan fiction.
Oh my gosh! Honestly, if someone did a fan fiction of my book, that would be amazing.
Right?
Take note, people.
Like that's like all that you've made it. Like someone did a fan fiction of your work. Okay. Another one here. Someone has a crush on someone from their sports team. Could be different. Holly, Renee. We're getting some Renees. Getting some abs.
I don't know. I'm just random guessing. I have no clue.
Heather's is Mav. Nikki's is Holly. Okay. Raise your hand. Who's you? Yep. It was Holly.
Did I say lacrosse team?
I did, but I thought that was a little too specific, so I just did sports team.
Thank you. Yeah, Nikki, good memory. Yes.
But like it could have played into like Klaus because he's on a football team, but he never has a crush on someone.
That's why I said you. I was like, maybe this is like a 2 answer. So, and plus I wanted to trick people. So.
Well, that's why
our competitive spirit's coming out, folks.
Right.
Let's all just start doing that. Just like try to trick people. Nikki says Holly mentioned the best friend who's in a sport. Oh, so she's picking up on like recent answers.
I tricked Heather, yes. I'm tricking you a lot lately.
Okay. Next up, a spirit possesses a human.
Oh.
Spirit.
Literally only guessing this because there's 12 of them to choose from. Man.
Well, I don't know.
Nikki saying Maverick. Melissa and Maverick. Oh, my goodness. Pretty much everyone's saying Maverick. Yep, it's me. There's a lot of possessions, and I can't really say much else because they're all spoilers.
They're awesome.
There is, yeah, that's all I can say is that there's a lot of spirits possessing humans for different reasons. You never know. But
oh my gosh.
Let's see. Let's try another one. I'm having fun with these. Okay. Flaming arrows attack. Flaming arrows attack. Who do you think that belongs to? No, Maverick likes possessions, like Melissa likes kids.
So we got people possessed and kidnapped.
I'm gonna have
Ollie,
to
we need to find your weakness.
I've got two.
Okay. Who was that? Raise your hand. Melissa, yes.
Oh my gosh, we all have them!
All three of us. That's amazing.
That's another good plot device, right?
Yes.
So good.
Arrows. I mean, Maverick, where are your flaming arrows? I'm just saying. Oh, that's amazing.
Heather says, wait, what? That's awesome.
Now we definitely need a crossover, right? Just
And Maverick, you've got to add flaming arrows into the
right.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I'll take note of that.
So I was like, wait, I don't think I put that.
I know. I was like, was that me?
Okay, I have a training montage. Whose book is a training montage in? I don't. This could be multiple people though.
Are we duking it out, Holly?
I don't remember. I don't remember who this was.
I don't either.
Ollie? Nikki guesses Melissa. Anyone else? Training montage. Okay. Who actually was the training montage? Raise your hand. Oh, so it was a crowd.
So I don't think I put that either, but there are many.
Okay.
Well, and
Yeah,
the funny thing is like I have one of my second books. I'm like, wait, I didn't submit my second book.
And I don't remember what I submitted, so I'm just figuring.
Right. If it's there, sure.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. This might end up being with other books too. But yeah, Renee is the one that submitted that to me.
Okay. That's why Christine and Lucci would get along.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. The MCs go camping.
That's so broad. Moving away from the camera. That's not the direction I want to go.
I don't know. I don't know.
Nikki guesses Renee. Yeah, MCs. Oh, Heather says I got pop away for a few minutes. That's okay. Alex says Melissa.
Sorry, Heather.
We've driven her away.
Our craziness. Let's see. Alex got it right. Melissa. Well, at least from what I was submitted.
Yeah.
Renee, Holly, do your characters go camping?
No.
Duress,
No.
yes.
No camping.
It's not their idea, but it does happen.
Mine's like literally the whole book. Like,
Yeah.
literally like the entire book. They're like hiking, and then they're going underground, and then they're camping, and then they do it all over again.
Nice.
They're in a hotel once, right? Or are they in a hotel twice?
Oh
they're in
yeah,
a hotel once.
I think they're in a hotel twice. Twice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I only remember one.
Just for a change of scenery.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. Next up, I have a blood ritual.
I'm gonna take the face value that you have a blood ritual. Hopefully, just in your book, but
Yeah, I have one.
Oh, you don't.
You're off camera.
Hold up.
I can't.
I don't know.
Okay. Nikki says Maverick. Alex says Melissa. Alex says Maverick. Everyone's saying Maverick.
You do have skulls on the.
I hear skulls behind me. Lots of death. But I don't have a blood ritual.
See, okay, good. That's what I thought. I was like, wait,
how did I block that
out? Who had the blood ritual? Ollie.
I remember that, and then I was like, I didn't see it in my head. Ritual. I saw it a lot darker when Maverick said it.
See, knowing all the stuff that I know about the Celestial Code now, like I would not see a blood ritual happening in there.
I know, but it's in there. Yeah.
Now you guys gotta read it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sure.
That really intrigued me there. Like, how the heck did a blood ritual fit in there? Like,
you had me a blood ritual.
It'll be the tagline. Let's go. Blood rituals are in here.
There you go. That's your next pitch for Pit. There's a blood ritual. Just read it.
Have you seen the ones where it's like they're like, oh, it's like the "Call Me Maybe" lyrics, but it's in their like pitch form, and it's like it's amazing.
Wow.
I gotta look that up.
that sounds cool.
I've seen a few of those. Yeah.
Okay. I'm having fun with these. Okay. The next one is secrets kept between family members. Lots of secrets kept between family members. Wait, where's my other one? Anyone? Nikki says Maverick. Brittany says Maverick. I would say Maverick.
Can't imagine why.
Maverick. Yep, it's me.
There's a little bit in mine.
Lots of secrets.
I mean, what families don't keep secrets, really?
Right.
True. But when it's about who you truly are,
that's true.
It's not exactly
it's
a secret
dicey.
family cap.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's not a spoiler. That's like in the synopsis of my book. Is that like, the children discover that they're like descendants of Karma, but their mom, who like is actually the present Karma, like doesn't know that they know because she's never told them.
Wow.
That's the very large secret. You're descendants of Karma, and you haven't told your children that.
Like, just saying.
Didn't that pull up in the bedtime stories? I mean, come on.
Weave it into the bedtime stories. But nope. Okay, so we've been already on this for like almost an hour and a half. So I'm going to move on to our final giveaway. And so this is going to be for an ebook copy of my own book, Karma's Children Discovery. So you guys obviously can join in on the question as well. It's funny, I didn't think about these questions before the live started, and so I've just been thinking about them on the top of my head.
Would never have guessed. You seem super prepared.
And so I'm going to say, actually, Melissa, do you have a trivia question that you think I could ask? I'm curious if you could think of something. If you can't think of something, I'll think of something. It's fine.
Oh, you could ask what Krista's favorite play was.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So there is a scene where a crush exchange happens, and you get to know what Krista's favorite play is. Can you guess what that is for the ebook?
Awesome.
I don't know if that really truly counts. Are we talking Broadway plays?
Anything. He's a fan of the opera. It could be close. I have a fun fact about that, but continue. Keep going. No, I have no idea. Just guess anything. Any play. Think. This is Greece.
It's probably too obscure. It's probably too hard to guess.
Think. Okay, I'll narrow it down. What Shakespeare play was Krista's favorite? Twelfth Night? No. There it is. Romeo and Juliet.
Midsummer Night's Dream.
Oh.
Nikki got it. So yeah, Romeo and Juliet. So you also mentioned I got it too, Romeo and Juliet. So you also mentioned Phantom of the Opera, and I had a fun fact for that because it was Phantom of the Opera. But then I struggled because I wanted to quote it, and that's like how like it was incorporated into the scene. But then was Melissa, helped me realize like copyright things and things like that with Phantom of the Opera. Like even though the actual book of Phantom of the Opera is technically in the public domain, the plays and stuff or like the movie renditions where like the songs come in was what I was quoting, and then those like were no go for obvious reasons. So that's where like I was confused in my mind because I was like, well, Phantom of the Opera is in the public domain, but you're right, I'm quoting from the movies and the book. So anyway, it was Phantom of the Opera, and then I changed it to Romeo and Juliet of Shakespeare because that's all.
Nice.
I can reference that all I want.
Right.
So, Nikki, I believe you already have my email, but yeah, you want an ebook of Karma's Children Discovery. My baby novel, my baby. My baby. Yes, so you want an ebook of that? Congratulations. So now I'm out of pretty much games, I'm out of the giveaways, but I figured we could just do like a cool little like Q&A style. So if many of my co-hosts, Holly, Melissa, Renee, if you guys have any questions for me about like my author journey, Karma's Children in particular, or any of you in the comments, if any questions that you'd like to ask, just, let me know.
I've got how many printed pages is Karma's Children?
336.
Nice.
It was perfect in my mind because like I wanted it to be over 300, but like obviously not like super large, like 400. So I like strategically formatted it so that it would be over 300. And
Perfect.
Perfect size. Like I wanted it like this.
I felt like it was a good length.
Yeah.
Definitely good length.
I don't know. I feel like I'm an underwriter. Like I just like don't. I don't write very many words. I like compact a lot of like different emotions and scenes and things like that into like a very compact version instead of drawing it out. So I was worried that it wasn't going to be like very many pages, but it turned out good.
Awesome.
Now, did you outline, like, are you a pantser, a plotter, a plantser?
I am mostly a plotter, but I definitely like will let my characters kind of guide the story in certain situations. So like I have like my main plot points that I want to like that I need to make in order to have the story make sense. But then like all the kind of in between moments where like I don't necessarily know all the details, like I won't outline that and just like let the characters just kind of go with it. Yeah.
Cool.
I'll just like kind of nudge them in the direction of like the plot point that I need to be made.
If they'll do it, because sometimes they're unruly.
True that.
So, what you said you got the idea like in a dream or something?
Yes.
So what was the dream? What part of it?
So the whole storyline was based off of a dream as far as like the being descendants of karma. But the actual dream, and for those of you watching or whatever, I have very vivid dreams all the time.
Crazy.
And it's like super amazing and cool. Like I get all of my book ideas from my dreams, which is why like if I ever ask what inspired this book, like just say dream and you'll know automatically. Like it's always a dream. And like another cool thing about my dreams is that they all very much like have a plot line. They have a beginning, a middle, and end. And so I feel like most dreams you just kind of are popped into the middle of an action and then you're like pulled away from it. Whereas like mine, there's like a definitive beginning, a middle, and end. And if it doesn't end when like I wake up because of my alarm or something like that, it will continue the next time I fall asleep.
Wow.
Which
That's
is
so cool.
Really cool.
sounds
that
really
matter?
cool. It definitely is very cool. But when it's a nightmare and it's
Right.
like something scary happening in my dream, I literally cannot escape it.
Oh no.
So I've like learned to kind of like accept them. Like if something scary is happening in my dream, I learn to try to just let it play out. Because for the most part, I lucid dream, so I'm aware of myself when I'm dreaming. But like even though I can't really 100% control it, I can guide it in a certain direction. But like for example, if I could guide a character or whatever in my dream into a doorway, but I can't control what's behind that doorway. My mind does that. So I can guide things, but I can't like ever predict what's gonna happen. So I just have to like let it play out as much as it does. But anyway, all of that tangent aside, in the actual dream where I had of Karma's children, I had probably like 4 separate dreams where it was all kind of around the same theme of like Karma's children, and they were a family of like 8 7-year-olds. And they were like in kindergarten or something.
Oh.
And like they knew that they were Karma's descendants, and they were like giving like other kids like like bad karma or good karma or whatever. And like it was less about them learning to control their powers because they already kind of knew. It was more about their parents trying to like wrangle them into getting to do the right thing
Really cool.
versus just taking advantage of it. But the idea of being descendants of karma and having the different powers of dishing out good and bad karma to different people, that came from a dream. So it changed a
Very
lot,
cool.
but that was what the actual dream was. Let's see. Alex says, question for all of you. Oh, what's your favorite scene to write? What's your favorite scene to write? So that's for all of you guys too. Holly, Melissa, Renee.
Just clarifying question, does that mean like a favorite kind of scene to write or the favorite scene we wrote?
Let's go with the favorite scene, I feel like.
Oh,
I don't know. If it's spoilery, just like be obscure about it. My favorite scene is definitely in the coffee shop with Krista. Because
Yeah.
you get a little bit of a hint that Krista might not be entirely straight. But she doesn't know it yet either. So that was a really cool scene because I got to like explore like how I could show off this side of her without her even realizing it.
really cool.
And so that was really fun to write.
That's awesome.
What about you, Holly?
I think in TCC, gosh, there are a lot, but like I feel like my ending, because it's like a mic drop like plot twist, so like cliffhanger, and so I liked being evil. I like being evil, so yeah. The ending is my favorite part.
You have such a sweet face, but what lurks underneath it? Torture for your readers.
Like you got Kevin.
Yeah, you're like throwing me for a loop, Holly. Like
I thought I knew you, but no.
Oh my god, this is amazing. Okay, sorry.
What about you, Renee?
So I'll say it fast since I have, two, but in Darkwind, my favorite scene to write involves two of the characters ending up in peril together, and they have no choice but to kind of go on like a short journey together. And basically, I mean, it's more than one scene, but it's all kind of one continuous sequence. So that was my favorite part to write, and I wrote it like all in one sitting. And then for the Chaos Circus, this is probably surprising to no one who's read it, but the ending was my
I wonder why.
That ending shooketh me. Like
you stopped responding to my messages after you read it for like a whole day. I was like, I wonder if he's really mad.
I would never be actually mad at you, but I was just like, I was quite upset.
There was some rage in there.
It was another moment where like I just don't have those moments very often where I'm just so like floored that I'm like I don't know how to react.
It was like a capital letter shooketh. I am shooketh.
like totally.
I love it.
What about you, Melissa?
Well, I don't know about, I probably should say like all the action scenes at the end of like all that stuff, but, and it was really cool to write when they got their powers, which I guess that's a spoiler, but that's okay. It was super fun to write that, but always my favorite scenes are any love scene, any kind of that kind of stuff. So yeah, I just love writing every single one of those. And I edited those like crazy. And the other ones, I'm just like, wait, did that even happen? Because I never read it. Like I wrote it, and then did a quick edit, and moved on, So, but yeah, definitely the love scenes, and some of the action scenes are cool.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me so excited to read the love scenes because I know how much heart and effort you put into them.
Oh yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Like I said, like they just like they warm my heart. They're just covered in. I know I keep bragging on you, Melissa, but you can
thank you.
So Heather asked, do you prefer drafting, developmental edits, or line edits? I want to address this to everyone too. I like drafting because I like creating it from there, creating something out of nothing. After I finished my first draft, I was just like, ugh, editing now. Like, I was like,
absolutely
so bummed by it. I don't want to keep writing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Heather, or not Heather, Holly.
Don't worry, all the time. No,
yeah, you're probably used to that. It's fine. For those of you watching, Holly and Heather are twins. Like,
yeah, definitely drafting. Because I like having the outline, everything is all coming together on the page, and like having those like aha moments where things are coming together is so much fun. And then I like line edits like secondly, because I like being able to clean up, or like everything's done, I just have to kind of clean it up, pretty it up. And my least favorite is developmental edits, because it's like the first draft, like you feel so accomplished, and then you're like, now I have so much work to do because this is like really bad. And it's like and then you're got to scrap things that you like worked hard on and you put time in, but you still have to fix. So drafting all the way.
What about you, Renee?
For me, I think it really kind of depends on like what stage I'm in, because I usually, like if I'm drafting, I love drafting, but then I get into the mindset to edit, and then it's really hard to go back to drafting. So I think I just kind of try to live in whatever I'm in and get the most out of it. But I do agree that like developmental edits are tough for me, just because I can't just go through and make the wording nice. I have to actually add things and make it still flow, and that is always so challenging. So,
what about you, Melissa?
Well, I love drafting, and absolutely, that's my favorite thing. And it's just funny because I enjoy editing, but I think I like editing other people's books more because I didn't write them. Because trying to edit my own book is just so difficult. But I'm with Holly. I like the line edits probably second because I like the detailed work. You know, is this comma supposed to be here? That kind of thing. And then developmental edit. Oh my goodness, those are the worst. Those are just so hard. Like sometimes you just get overwhelmed and you're just like, I don't even know where to start. I don't even. This is like this huge plot hole, or I didn't foreshadow this correctly, and you're just like, where do I put it? What do I do with it? Yeah. So, but drafting is definitely the most fun, especially because I'm a pantser, so I have no clue what the story's doing or where it's going to go until I write it. So yeah.
That blows my mind that you like pants the entire Secret of the Codex.
Yeah.
But although it did take you 10 years, so I guess there's that.
It did. I mean, the first draft was like a year, but yeah, it was the editing that took so 9 years.
I thought of a question for like all of you guys too. Did you have a big scene in any of your books that you had to totally scrap? Because at the end, you were like, oh, this doesn't fit. Any curiosity?
Yes.
Yeah?
For sure.
Can you describe it?
Okay. I guess I'll go. Sure. So when I originally wrote The Secret of the Codex, I actually had a love scene in there between Kayla and Grady.
Like a steamy love scene?
It wasn't that steamy. I was still a pretty new writer. So it was more like suggested type thing, but I just felt like it wasn't true to the characters, and I'm like, if this is a series, I've got to have somewhere for them to go, and I felt like it wasn't really true to me, and I felt like it was a whole let's just jump into bed for the sake of just because we want to, you know, that kind of thing. So I rewrote it to where they didn't, and then yeah, well, you'll have to read the second book if you want to find out.
Holly, you were nodding your head.
Well, yeah, like it's like
Is
that.
it spoilery?
No, I mean like at that feast scene, like at the midpoint, like I took out, but like what happens at the feast stayed the same. But like I did take out like a couple scenes, like parts of scenes that I had in like the first and second chapters, so I could make things happen faster. So yeah, just kind of speeding up the inciting incident. But yeah, so like kind of killing my darlings. But it's like I like the scene. I have witty banter and like so like I saved it in my like for later. You know, like try to use this conversation later because it's like the witty banter. Come on.
Totally.
Did you have anything, Renee?
I actually had to think about this a little bit because I think of all of the books in the Star Chaser series, Darkwind changed the least. But one that I was really sad to let go of was a scene where Sistine overhears her friends like drinking and not really having a party, but just it was one of those scenes where like it showed some bonding between the side characters. Or the secondary characters that I really was kind of sad to see it go because I just liked it was a more quiet and emotionally intimate moment, but it really didn't add that much, like it didn't move the plot along that fast. So I ended up having to take kind of the context around which it was built and use it to build up a different character. So that was one of those ones that I did not have Holly's wisdom, so I didn't save it. So it's gone forever, but at least it still exists in my mind and I remember it. So
yeah.
Yes, always save your scenes when you cut them out, people. You're going to need to Frankenstein them into something else. Like seriously, keep them all.
Well, and then I even think like Marissa Meyer like kept some like deleted scenes and then she like posted them on like Goodreads, like on her like author page, and so it's like you can still like and she's like, this is unedited, unedited, and it never made it in the book, but here, and it's like it's fun to like
take it.
Yeah,
cool.
people eat that up. Yeah.
Yeah. I did have like 2 chapters that I just totally scrapped.
Oh.
Because so there towards the end of the book, there is a very clear time jump between one chapter to the next. Melissa will know this. It basically goes from Halloween to Christmas. Like
yeah.
there's a very obvious time jump, and I kind of like it. That time jump didn't exist in my first draft. I had like 2 chapters where I was like developing stuff that was going on there. But it mainly surrounded something that happened with Klaus. Like Klaus met someone at the Halloween party, and it was going to be mainly like the developmental of their relationship. But then when I was editing it, I was like, this is just a bunch of fluff. Like it was 2 chapters of just fluff that was just totally unnecessary to the plot line. And I was like, you know what, like let's just get rid of it. And I kind of like summarized what happened from their relationship in like the beginning of the next chapter at Christmas, so that the readers can kind of like, it's not just like total like something happened, but yeah, there's like a very obvious time jump in there, and you're like, okay. But then you get like a summary of what happened, or it's not as bad, but like there was definitely there was like 2 chapters of work there that I just totally scrapped because it was just like, it's just fluff. Like I can't like.
See, I think that was absolutely a good decision, because like it just kept the story moving. I feel like that would have really slowed things down.
Yeah, and especially since it was towards the end.
Yeah. Do you think maybe you might do them as kind of like maybe like as a 6-month or a 1-year anniversary, do like a release that has them as like deleted scenes in the back, or maybe post them on your blog or something?
Cool. Maybe, but I also did not have Holly's wisdom, and I didn't save them.
Oh no! Teach us, Holly.
Oh my goodness, because I can't let go.
See, it's like I have a file that's just deleted scenes. So every time especially because my first draft was 130,000 words, and it ended up being 120,000. So I cut like 10,000 words. So I literally like just copied it over into a different file. So I've got like every word I've ever written.
Smart.
Because each draft I start a new file too, so I can go back to my first draft and my second draft.
Yeah.
Because I just I don't want to lose anything in case like some crazy thing like in book 3 or 4. I'm like, oh, I want to reference that.
There you go.
Definitely save all the stuff.
I would just like second guess myself if I had saved it. I think that was my thought process in the moment, where I was like, okay, I just decided like I can't use this. Like I need to just totally get rid of it. Otherwise, if it's still saved, I'm gonna be like, maybe I should put that back in.
No take backsies.
Like, yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So I think that was my mindset at the moment.
That makes sense.
That makes sense to me.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Heather says sensei to Holly. Yeah. Any other questions? Anyone in the comments? Something that like popped in your mind, either when you were reading Karma's Children or like when you're reading the synopsis?
So how did you get the title? Like how did you create the title?
I think it was very centered around the dream of,
PRB.
Karma's, yeah. Oh, you're good. Go ahead. Of the children of Karma. It was Children of Karma for a while, but then I was like, that's just so long, and like, so I just went Karma's Children. But it's funny. I should have looked up the title beforehand, because there's apparently another series out there that's like a thriller, an adult thriller. That's the Karma's Children series. So none of the book titles are Karma's Children. So that's my advantage. But the book series is Karma's Children. I'm just like, So like you look up just Karma's Children on Amazon, and like that pops up too. But another thing that pops up on Amazon when you just look at Karma's Children, and like earlier when I was like, my earlier today in the release day, I like looked up just Karma's Children, and I finally was the first thing that popped up, and I was like, oh, thank God. But before, when it was like available for pre-order, you would if you just looked up Karma's Children on Amazon, I would be like number 4 in the results, because there would be children's books by someone named Karma.
Oh no!
Like her name is Karma something, and then like she writes children's books.
Oh my God. Your luck.
Oh no!
Like how did I see that?
Wow.
Like,
That's-
but yeah. But now I think it's the first result, which is good. I mean, it's in the title. Like you think it would take priority of title versus like author and genre, like so obscure. But anyway,
That was the hard thing. Like a couple of months ago, I basically hadn't had very many sales at all. And I couldn't even find my book on Amazon in a search. Like I literally searched the title and could not find it. And I was like, what is happening?
what was happening?
I don't know. I have no idea. I want to say I was just too far down in the rankings or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could find it if I searched the full title and my name, I think. But like, there's all kinds of like codex related type books and stuff that come up. But so I ran a Kindle Countdown sale and that helped.
There you go.
Nikki asked me, would you have changed the title if you had looked it up before choosing? I don't know, probably. But at the same time, like, I don't know what else I would call it. Like, it's like
Right.
so ingrained in my mind that it's Karma's Children. I just have no idea what I would call it.
Yeah.
Mine was the Codex for like the first year or two. And then somebody was like, oh, here's a book also called the Codex. And I'm like, well, I'm going to have to change it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's definitely a technique that I learned later on in my other training.
Yeah.
The things you learn, yes.
I had another book idea that's still like, again, based off a dream I had. That it's basically like a combination, like a. Do you remember like Poison Ivy from Batman?
Yes.
Like touch people and like they fall in love with her. It was like that, except the person was like a thief, and he was like using it as like a to like take advantage of like people to let him into like bank vaults and like things like that. But the hidden aspect of that is that again, like Poison Ivy, if he kissed someone, they would die. And so he like could never kiss anyone again, like even like someone like he loves. And so the title of it was going to be Kiss of Death. And I looked it up, and like there's literally like 1,000 Kiss of Death. Like, I'm not surprised, but yeah. Anything else? Do y'all hosts have any questions for me or like the general host population? I can't think of anything else. Are y'all underwriters, overwriters, or just like in between?
Way over.
And so for my first book, I was definitely an overwriter because I had to get like 10,000 words cut. But I found that on my second book, I was an underwriter. And it's still, at this point, it's too long because like in my second pass through, I added a bunch of stuff. And so now I still have to cut a bunch of stuff. But I think it's like 124,000 or something. So I kind of go back and forth, I guess. I really don't know. I just write whatever comes out and then fix it later.
Yeah. My first manuscript that is shelved right now, Ran a Quarry Realm, that started at 130K. And then I found out like, oh, it should be under 100K for a debut.
Right.
Like if you're going to query it. So then I like brought it down, and then I got it down to 99K. So I got like 31,000 words.
Wow.
But I mean, since I was a newbie writer, I could clean up my prose too. So it wasn't like it was all like plot and stuff. But like with Abargo's Riddle, which was my second novel I'm working on, and then the Celestial Code, like they're pretty on par. So I feel like once I got it figured out, I was like, yeah, so that Abargo's Riddle is like 70K and the Celestial Code's like 80. Well, I'm editing it right now for Pitch Wars and it just got under 80K. I'm like, oh my God. It's been 80K for so long.
I would say I'm mostly an underwriter, but for the most part, it kind of like evens out. I think I was at like 65,000 words at the end of my first draft. And that's with the additional 2 chapters that I cut out.
Oh no.
And then I cut those out, and then it went down to like 60 something, and then I like added like 15,000 words in the second draft. So I guess that would be underrated, but
Yeah.
but I don't know. In the moment, I felt like, oh, this is like not that bad. But looking back at it, I'm like, wow, that was a lot.
Those developmental edits will get you.
Right.
Yeah, so much.
There's some shorter books, so.
Do you guys like decide how long your book is going to be, or do you just kind of write it and does it usually end up long or short or varied or?
Well, I definitely, like, as I said earlier, like I wanted the goal of being over 300 words. So I added, more context and like things like that to it, to try to get up there. But again, like I didn't want it to be like super long, because I feel like when it's really long, it has to be continuously engaging, and it can be very easily like able to get fluff in there, which I obviously was trying to avoid. But yeah, so I definitely set out with the goal of it being over 300 pages. But when I was writing it, I didn't know how many words 300 pages was.
Right.
I was just kind of crossing my fingers that like it would work out at the end.
Right.
Yeah, I think for me, like my goal is around like 70 to 80K, but like it's when I start drafting and then I realize like, oh, if I'm like, let's say I'm like 10% through like my outline and I'm at like, let's just for the sake of easy math, like let's say I'm at like 10K, then I'm like, oh, so I'll probably finish around 100K, because I'm at the 10% mark, and it usually lines up with that. And it's not even like I'm trying, it's just that's how it works out. So it's kind of cool the way that happens. I don't know how I do it. Just
So you're a plotter then?
Yeah.
Okay.
So outline.
Oh, you guys are wonderful. I wish I could plot.
It helps.
Oh my goodness.
Have you tried plotting, but just like it didn't work?
Okay, so here's the deal. I wrote it a full outline for my first book, and nothing stayed. Like literally nothing.
Wow.
It was a treasure hunt book, but that was where it stopped. Like that was there was different locations, like there were characters that actually made it into the book that are super integral to the book that never were in the outline at all. Like it was just a mess. And I like look back at my old outline and I'm like, I don't even know where I was going with it. I don't even know. So I just scrapped the whole thing, like not even intentionally. I just wrote and did what felt natural. And it was. And so after that, I'm just like, nope, I'm not going to outline. And it can be frustrating because with Pantsing, like my second book, I wrote like all the MC storyline. And then I realized that I wrote them into a corner and didn't know what the antagonist was doing. So then I had to go back and write all the antagonist scenes. And then when I got toward the end and I got toward the climax where all the characters were going to come together, I realized that I hadn't written the side character story. So I had to go back and add those in. So it was like all kinds of crazy. So I wish I could plot, but I don't think it's in the cards for me.
It's okay. It works. It works for you. Okay. Well, do y'all have any other questions? I feel like we've been here for 2 hours, or about to be 2 hours. So I feel like we should come to a close. I've held y'all hostage for enough.
Put these off now.
I kidnapped y'all. took a page out of
Melissa helped.
Melissa helped.
I was like, great idea. Let's kidnap some writers on a Friday night.
This was
Okay.
great. Thanks for inviting us.
Yes, thank you so
for
much for having
joining
you.
me and
Yes.
helping me celebrate my release of Karma's Children Discovery. So I will. Can I link? No, I haven't linked. Well, okay. Sorry. I was gonna say I'll link where you can order Karma's Children Discovery down below later. I can't do it right now because we're live right now. But if you're watching this live and you want to order Karma's Children Discovery, you can just look up Karma's Children or Karma's Children Discovery on Amazon and it can pop up right away. I looked again, I'm still at 101 ranking. I'm so close. So yeah, if you haven't ordered Karma's Children, I would really appreciate you ordering so that I can try to get on that top 100 list, because the beauty of that top 100 list is that Amazon will recommend it to other readers. And so I can get in front of the eyes of like people who have never heard of me before. Which is, obviously super important. And I can call myself an Amazon bestseller author. So
Yes.
that could be a cool little thing that I can maybe like add on my second book or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in and participating. Again, if you won one of the giveaways, email me. Again, it's authormaverickm@gmail.com and let me know and I will get you that giveaway prize. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and thank you for being such an amazing support system and subscribing to this channel. And thank you to Holly, Melissa, and Renee for joining me. And again, just being such amazing cheerleaders during my entire writing process, and becoming, I'm so glad to have like connected with you on Instagram. It's crazy how we can connect in such a way on totally online and never have met each other in person. But it's super cool to me. But yeah, so that's it for tonight, guys. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.